Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Authorities are scrambling to contain a COVID outbreak at the Mersey Hospital, with 8 patients and 2 staff members now infected. A task force has been set up to investigate the cause, as the state recorded nearly 1,200 new infections today.
A COVID nightmare at the Mersey, no new admissions and visitors barred as health officials investigate how the outbreak began.
We're looking to identify where transmission may have occurred, the geographic areas, the timing of that.
Continuing to conduct contact tracing amongst staff to identify any potential PPE breaches.
As Tasmanians learn to live with the virus from today, visiting the state will come with less baggage for fully vaccinated travellers. They'll no longer need to provide a negative rapid antigen test before arrival, and they can ditch the e-travel app. Meanwhile, back to school requirements will be high on the agenda for tomorrow's National Cabinet discussions. The Greens have written to the Education Minister seeking answers about how Tasmanian students will be kept safe when Term 1 begins.
We know that children returning to school will be wholly unprotected.
The opposition also calling on Sarah Courtney to clear up confusion.
Will schools be operational? Will there be enough staff? Is the department planning to redeploy some of the bureaucrats that have education qualifications? Are they looking at recruiting retired teachers?
But the Premier was left to defend Miss Courtney today, who is away on annual leave.
The Minister's having a well-deserved break at the moment. She'll be back on deck before the school year starts.
As some states begin to record stable daily case numbers, the Premier says it's unclear if Tasmania has yet hit its peak of Omicron infections, recording just shy of 1,200 new cases today.
It's too early to say as yet whether or not we've reached the peak.
Meanwhile, small businesses like Hobart's Fish Frenzy are running a tight ship to remain open.
It means that things like casuals maybe don't get the hours that they were getting. We just try and save and cut costs wherever we can.
The state government offering a lifeline with applications now open for a business support program. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Police have charged a 23-year-old man with murder following yesterday's fatal shooting at Bridgewater. Emergency services arrived at a home on Douglas Drive in the early hours of the morning and spent the day scouring for evidence before taking the man into custody late last night. It's understood the victim is 32-year-old Ty Paul Silver, and the pair were known to each other. The alleged offender has been remanded in custody and is expected to front the Hobart Magistrates Court tomorrow. Meanwhile, a man has been charged with 16 offences following an alleged shooting in Burnie on Sunday. The 25-year-old is accused of firing at police with a shotgun before he was shot by officers in the shoulder. He's been remanded in custody to face court later this month. A 54-year-old man has been charged with arson after a house fire at Elizabethtown this morning. Crews were called to the Bass Highway property just before 4 a.m. to find it well alight.
2 men are inside the property. They have been taken to hospital and they've been treated for smoke inhalation.
The alleged arsonist, who was inside the cottage at the time, will appear in court at a later date. A Tasmanian woman has given birth to a healthy baby boy who also happens to be her grandchild. Marie Arnold offered to be her daughter's surrogate after finding out she would be unable to carry a child.
Baby Winston sleeping peacefully, unaware of the challenges his parents face trying to have him.
Everything he does melts your heart, doesn't it? You can stare at him all day.
Yeah, I think he's got a really strong frown.
They've actually got him now and he's not my responsibility so much anymore. But yeah, it's just an amazing thing to do. There's no doubt about it.
In her mid-50s, Lilydale mum of 5, Marie Arnold, didn't hesitate to offer to be the surrogate and is recovering well after a smooth caesarean delivery.
Recovery's good considering my age. I was surprised actually because it's only been 6 days.
Megan has MRKH syndrome. She was born with ovaries but no uterus. The condition affects 1 in 5,000 women, but she was unable to benefit from Medicare rebates for IVF treatment.
If you're in a surrogacy agreement, then to go through IVF and to do the embryo transfer and all of those things, you don't get any Medicare rebates, which I have, written to Greg Hunt and, tried to highlight the fact.
Position we're in, it's our only option, but there's no assistance. So that's what's difficult.
The family hoping this will change so other couples facing fertility challenges can also have children. After 4.5 years of trying to start a family, it took just 2 hours for baby Winston to come into the world. As for whether Winston can expect any brothers or sisters in the near future.
Oh my gosh, if it takes 4.5 years, then I'll have to think about it. But absolutely though, yeah. I don't think you can top it.
And I'll say no. I would like to push my luck.
Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmania News.
A Victorian man is about to embark on a marathon like no other, performing the entire collection of organ works by Bach, which should take him roughly 18 hours. The musical feat is part of this weekend's Mona Foma Festival in Launceston. Calvin Bauman will start playing at 6:30 on Saturday morning, finishing in the early hours of Sunday.
Just to even play one of the big works by itself can take 15 minutes. So we just add a lot of those 15 minutes lots together and make it 18 hours.
There'll be a roster of page-turners on hand to assist in the gruelling musical journey, along with a masseuse. A Tasmanian retirement village is set to welcome more residents after doubling in size. The Northbourne Park Association has opened up 68 new independent living villas after a donation by the late Bert and Peggy Farquhar. A neighbouring property was acquired and one of the streets will be known as Peggy Parade in honour of the donation. One of Tasmania's quirkiest tourist attractions is up for sale. Brian Inder fulfilled his childhood dream of creating a mega maze complex known as Tasmasia. But more than 2 years after his passing, his wife says it's now time for someone else to enjoy the magic.
Brian Inder poured his heart and soul into Tasmasia.
This is the Laird of Lower Crackpot inviting you to visit me at Tasmasia and the village of Lower Crackpot, where lifelong memories are made and fun and laughter rule.
It was his passion and he just couldn't. So right up to the day he died, in fact, the day before he died, he said, I'm going to get myself better, I'm going to get home and keep working on my project.
He and his wife started the tourist attraction from scratch in 1985 when the first trees were planted. At the time, it was the world's largest maze. While waiting for the shrubs to shoot up, Brian embarked on a new mission, creating the village of Lower Crackpot.
Brian says, what will we do if the maze doesn't grow? What will we do? I know, I'll build a model village, as one does. And that's how the village came about. And so all the little village buildings are dedicated to someone or something that Brian, just had a fascination for.
Even 7 Tasmania. Tasmasia is still a hit, proving popular with both the young and old.
We loved it. Some of them you could go inside. Yeah.
It's great for adults as well. I mean, it's one person who made all these little houses, isn't it? It's pretty amazing.
The property also has a cafe and gift store on site. It has been on the market for 6 weeks now and interest is starting to show.
We've had talks here recently with one party and we're talking with a second party, a local party as well.
Laura says it isn't so much about the money but rather the buyer. She wants the right person with the right heart to carry on Brian's legacy. And with plenty of land surrounding the attraction, there's also opportunities to expand into other ventures.
There could be developed for accommodation with the rowing here. There's a demand for accommodation or somebody may come up with other attractions. But 70 acres there is, a big parcel of land to do whatever you may want to do with.
It's like I say, Walt Disney had the vision for Disneyland, but Disneyland has been created by a lot of people since then, and I feel that that's where we are here.
Even if you're 80, indulge your inner child. It's what we do here. And you might even find an old friend.
Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmania News.
The Hobart Hurricanes have confirmed their place in the Big Bash finals after a thrilling win over the Melbourne Renegades. The league's leading run scorer, Ben McDermott, made just 3 before falling victim to a Zach Evans screamer. But the Hurricanes were still able to post 5 for 182. Tim David finishing the innings with a quick-fire 46 off 20 balls.
Doesn't matter where you put them, the boundaries are not big enough when Tim David's in this mood.
Despite half-centuries from Shaun Marsh and Aaron Finch, the last-place Renegades came up 6 runs short in the chase.
Good evening, Hobart, 18 degrees today. Launceston peaked at 26, a late maximum after 3 p.m. Burnie 20 and Devonport 22. Strahan reached 24, Bushy Park 23 with Lowhead and King Island at 22 degrees. Friendly Beaches 21 today and Flinders Island and St Helens 20. Some cloud over the northwest, east and southeast early before a bit of a dissipation occurred as the afternoon progressed. The Bight and eastern Victoria also with mid to low level cloud. Western Australia mostly clear. Higher cloud with embedded thunderstorms across a good portion of the east of the nation. Tomorrow a high moves over Tasmania, several troughs and a broad low over Queensland extends over New South Wales and South Australia. Easterly winds at 10 to 20 knots, tending more northeasterly in the afternoon. Variable winds over western waters. Nothing to warn you about, so straight to the forecast. Bit of cloud clearing, fine, and 23 for Hobart. 24 the top for Cygnet, a sunny day, and sunny for New Norfolk, 27 the top. Launceston 27 and fine and sunny, partly cloudy for Devonport 21, 27 for Campbelltown. Burnie a top tomorrow of 21 and partly cloudy, same for Strahan but 22 there and 22 for Smithton. St Helens a high of 22 as well and partly cloudy. Swansea 22 and 23 the high for Fingal. Sunrise at 1 minute to 6 in the morning ahead of an extreme day of UV. On Friday, fine to mostly sunny, temperatures in the mid-20s. Launceston however 29 for the next 3 days. A fine mostly sunny Saturday kicks off what should be a pretty good weekend, and on Sunday some cloud moving in but still fine with an afternoon sea breeze for the south and west. A hot sunny 39 in Perth, warm as well in Adelaide and Melbourne, a possible shower for Sydney, showers and 27 in Brisbane, stormy over the tropics. Bit of cloud over Hobart at 17 at the moment, sunny in Launceston 22 and 19 right now in Devonport. Louise, I know you've been slaving away during the week here in the newsroom and your husband Dave has been cooking all the meals at home. You've had a Greek extravaganza. I know you're not much of a cook, but what's he got on the table for you tonight?
Got a beautiful bolognese tonight, Murph, and I'm sure you'd like some, but too bad. That's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.